Hugh Jackman has been in more X-Men movies than any other actor ever since playing Wolverine in the original 2000 movie, and as a result, the powerful superhero has such a complex timeline in the universe. Audiences were introduced to Logan in the snowy outback of Alberta in the first film in the Fox X-Men movie roster, but his timeline begins well over 100 years before that. Over the course of 9 films, Logan has taken up many different comic book forms, such as Old Man Logan and Weapon X, all the way up to his death in Logan. The X-Men movie timeline is undoubtedly confusing, as the series is full of prequels, movies that are part prequel and part sequel, and spin-offs that stretch over the course of 100+ years. That means that it can be hard for general audiences to unravel the knotty timeline and lay it out chronologically. It doesn't make it any easier that some movies split the X-Men movie universe into different timelines either. And given that one of Logan's mutant abilities is immortality, the character has certainly lived a full life. Logan's early life and fighting alongside Sabretooth, X-Men Origins, Wolverine. 1832–1944. Wolverine and Sabretooth battle in the Civil War in X-Men Origins, Wolverine. X-Men Origins, Wolverine is the 4th X-Men movie, but the very first one in the chronological timeline. While 112 years is much longer than most people's whole lives, that timeframe only represents Logan's early life. The movie depicts Logan's birth in 1832 with the name James Howlett, and in the following 12 years, he meets and forms a close bond with his half-brother, Victor Creed, aka Sabretooth. In 1845, the 12-year-old mutant kills Thomas Logan, the groundskeeper who murdered Logan and Sabretooth's father. After the murder, the brothers run away and become soldiers in several wars. As the movie cuts forward to the Civil War, and given their mutant powers, they don't age a day. Considering that the movie was critically scathed when it was released, the opening sequence is arguably the only good X-Men Origins, Wolverine scene, as it then jumps decades later to World War I in 1914, and then decades later again to 1944 during World War II, where the duo is part of the D-Day Normandy landings. It's in this montage where Logan and Victor's relationship begins to crack, as Victor starts enjoying the violence and terrors of war. Logan meets and saves Ichiro Yashida, the Wolverine. 1945. Ichiro watching the atomic blast in the Wolverine. The opening of the black sheep of the X-Men franchise, the Wolverine, picks up in the middle of the opening montage of X-Men Origins, Wolverine, where he's a US soldier during World War II. Logan is trapped in a prisoner-of-war camp in Nagasaki, Japan, where an atomic bomb is about to be dropped and will wipe out the entire city, including Japanese military officer Ichiro Yashida. Logan saves Yashida from the blast, and Yashida then watches in astonishment when Logan uses his healing powers. But Yashida doesn't get to enjoy the entire spectacle, as it's still set before the main events of X-Men Origins, Wolverine, and Logan hasn't got his adamantium claws yet. Logan does not get recruited by Charles and Eric, X-Men, First Class. 1962. Xavier and Magneto talk to Wolverine in X-Men, First Class. Professor Charles Xavier and Eric Lencher first assemble the X-Men in 1962 in X-Men, First Class. The Mark Millar-directed comic book movie features Professor X and Magneto hiring Angel, Darwin, Havoc, and Banshee, but there's one mutant who doesn't accept their offer. Charles and Eric find Logan in a bar and attempt to recruit him. It goes to show how much of a valuable asset Logan is even without his adamantium claws. This scene again takes place within the timeframe of X-Men Origins, Wolverine, when Logan was a soldier for the US Army. The location of the bar isn't totally clear, but it's either in Vietnam or in the US right before he's deployed to Vietnam. Logan is recruited into Team X and gets adamantium claws, X-Men Origins, Wolverine. Early-late 1970s. Wolverine emerging from a bath in X-Men Origins Wolverine. When Wolverine and Sabretooth inevitably end up fighting in the Vietnam War, other soldiers cotton on to their healing powers. This leads to the mutants getting recruited by Stryker and put into his Black Ops military unit known as Team X. Logan leaves the team due to its sketchy methods of combat and its cavalier attitude toward civilians' lives. William Stryker first appeared in the X-Men franchise in X2 and was played by Brian Cox, but the character's first chronological appearance is years earlier, and Cox was recast in X-Men Origins, Wolverine, with a younger Danny Huston. Years later, under the impression that Victor murdered his girlfriend, Kayla, Logan meets with Stryker once again due to their common threat, Sabretooth. Logan agrees to the Weapon X experiment and has adamantium bonded to his bones, which will help him kill his half-brother.